Right guys, so today I am at IronSkull 2020. So this is the first ever IronSkull painting event. What I'm going to do here today is actually enter the competition and show some of you guys through what it's like entering a competition. Now for any of you who've seen my work, you know that I'm probably an average to half decent painter at best. So I'm certainly not expecting to win anything or even get commended in any way. But I just want to go through with you some of the benefits that you can actually get from entering some painting competitions yourself. Because a lot of people out there aren't coming to these things because they're too nervous. You really, if you take your painting seriously, you really need to get down to a painting event. From the second you walk through the doors, you can tell that this is a painting event. And whilst there are some vendors here, this is the furthest thing you can get from any kind of Wargames convention. This is purely for painters, dedicated to painters. This is a painting competition. So, just like with any painting competition, there's a trophy to win, and today that's this, the IronSkull. Now this is one of the most beautiful trophies that I have ever seen. There's actually 3 to win for each category, and that's the bronze, the silver and the gold, but the winner of the overall competition takes home this. Now this is a vacuum formed aluminium coating, so the weight of it is absolutely incredible. It really stands out as something on the tabletop and feels like a solid display piece that you can take home. If you get this today, well done. So if you're actually entering the competition, then you need to submit your models. And the way you do this is in 2 halves. The first here is registration. Now, I actually did this online on the IronSkull website, and this saved a lot of time on the day because I purely just popped up, handed over my forms. I was given a card with my entry numbers on that matched up to which category I was entering for, and then I was pointed in the direction where I actually taped my models to submit them. So, whilst as I say there wasn't too many vendors at the event, there was still plenty to do. One of my favourite things was seeing a hands-on with the Artis Opus Series D brushes. I love these brushes, but knowing how much water to put on the actual brush really helped and improved how much I would actually get out of them. These guys from RDS Online supplied all the cabinets for the event and were showing me all of the different bespoke options they offer, and I even got to see Angel Duraldez, and whilst I didn't get any time to enjoy his demonstration, it was good at least to go up and shake his hand and tell him I'm a massive fan. I even had a really good laugh with the guys from Element Games who were here, and they are clearly hobbyists through and through, and it was nice to just pick up a few extras I could take home from the event. So once you've registered, you then take the card you're given and submit your models. These guys were absolutely incredible, running back and forth, putting everyone's models nicely on display in the cabinets. It's as simple as hand over the model, hand over the card, pop them on a tray, and then once you've done them all, they'll go and submit them onto the shelves. So this part of the day is called waiting. There's a lot of this. Now, whilst I say you're waiting, I'm obviously joking. This was the biggest part of the day, was actually when everyone's models were being submitted. You would walk around, talk to your fellow painters, and this was the bit where you'd get ideas, you'd ask which models they submitted. If you're like me, you'd embarrassingly point out your own, which were quite clearly not up to the standard of some of these others. But getting to speak to some of these guys firsthand is absolutely invaluable, because they'll show you exactly what they did to get a certain technique right, they'll talk to you about colour schemes, they'll talk to you about how they approach their models, and it's a completely different way of thinking, because now I've walked away and I no longer consider the model itself, but actually the scene which I'm trying to convey. So if you're wanting to enter this competition, or any competition, there's a lot more to it than just being a good painter. You do need to be a good painter, but there's so much you have to consider. We want to know now is who won the different categories, but it does take a while for the judges to go through all the different entries. I mean, there was over 200 when I put my entry in the night before. I think I was 208, 9, 10 and 11, and then the people been coming here this morning and adding their entries, so quite a bit of waiting to do. Thankfully there's pizza to look at, there's seminars on, there's painters to talk to, so it's been a really good day. I'm exhausted now, still got some work to do, but I just can't wait to see who's won the different events. So obviously I meant pizza to eat and models to look at, but it's not like I could go back and re-record it. The judges had over 317 entries to look at, and the competition, even at this first event, was so high. I certainly don't envy the work they had to go through to pick some of these winners. So that's it for the end of the day. So all the judges have judged, all of the different categories have gone through. The judges and the organisers, they all know who's won in what category. All we can see so far is if we go around the cabinets, like sort of the top 3 looking ones in each category seem to be on the top shelf. And then all the other models have got like the card that you get when you go there, have got like a little sticker on them, which nobody actually really knows what that means, but there's a lot of chatter trying to figure it out. So what we're going to do is everyone's now collecting their models, so basically the thing that took 4 hours at the beginning of the day, they're now doing within an hour at the end of the day. And then we're going to go and have the awards ceremony and find out who won what. Just to let you know, as expected, I had no stickers, I had nothing on my models, so what I'm doing is I'm leaving mine in the cabinet till last, so at least then the few people who do go around looking at the remaining models in the cabinets do actually look at mine, and when you don't have them compared to all the different models, they do actually look a lot better, so gives me a little bit of pride. But let's go and see who's won, and then I'll do a summary of the end of the day.
We just honestly were overwhelmed by the amazing reaction to IronSkull, and I just want to say a massive thank you. I've been hugely humbled by the reception of IronSkull, how it's been taken by the community, and by the quality and calibre of people who have travelled from all over. And not to mention as well, every single person that for the first time ever has entered the competition. Like this event, the whole idea behind it is to help painters progress at any level that they're at, so it is a very positive painting environment. So I just want to say a huge thank you. So please give yourself a massive round of applause, please. And getting the gold goes to Neil Hollis. Come on, Neil. Where are you? Steve Garcia, come forward. Alex Long. Phil Price, come forward, Phil. Thomas Ambrose, come forward. Conrad Vignetti, come down, Conrad. Jamie Cornwell. Conrad Vignetti again. He's going to need a trolley. Arnie Zara again. That's incredible guys. David Stover, come on down, Dave.
David Chilvers. Trying to get the longest applause, clearly.
The very first ever IronSkull goes to David Stover.
So it's at this point that me, being the amateur YouTuber I am, actually lost all of the audio from this bit, but I got to spend some time with James and ask him how he felt the first day went. And whilst I can't really convey it now because you can't hear it in his own words, I just have to say that the effort that this guy puts into this hobby and his work is absolutely incredible. When he says he was humbled by the amount of entries and people attending, the guy certainly wasn't joking. I met him back on the Siege Studios Essentials Masterclass. I've wrote my blog about it, and even then I said the same thing. So hats off to this guy, and hats off to the entire Siege team for making an incredible painting event. Wow, so that's it. My first ever painting competition. I have to say I'm exhausted, so I've got no idea how the staff feel. IronSkull was absolutely incredible, and I've got to say, if you are a painter, you've really got to get down to a painting competition. You've got to come here. At the very least, get your models on the shelf next to some others. Just having them there next to other people's models really is, you know, that kind of comparison is invaluable alone. But being able to speak to these painters, like some of the levels that these guys are at, and getting some tips, tricks and ideas, you know, people aren't as secretive as they used to be in this community. So you can come down and people will tell you how they did things and the certain ways, because whilst there is clearly the competition between everyone, what's so great about this hobby, and it really rings true here, is how much people are actually trying to help each other and, you know, compete against themselves so that they can actually do better with themselves next year. So I'm quite sure that IronSkull is here now, and it's here to stay. They've got 4 more trophies there, so if you want to bag one of them over the next 4 years, have a look at something like what David Soper's doing and get up to that level. So thanks guys, thanks for watching, and Fohammer out. So much better to do that with an actual mic.
Never stops moving anyway. Like,
The guy's mad.
Look, James.
Yeah, he is mad.
He's like
And we're debating getting a tranquilizer dart or something for events, so it slows down to the lower level.
Probably a good idea.
Would you like
So, you hear that, James?
to
We need a tranquilizer dart.
okay, let's get